Okay, looks like I'm live. Audio's working. We're at 23, 24, 25 seconds. And is it going to restart? Is the recording going to restart, or are we good? There it is. Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome to another episode of Danny Phantom Vlogs Revisit. This time, we are talking about the third TV film, Reality Trip. And this is honestly my favorite out of all four movie films that Danny Phantom got. Out of all four TV films that Danny Phantom got, this is by far my favorite. I love this episode. I legit love this episode. Freak Show is honestly like my favorite Danny Phantom villain. I think, I'm pretty sure he's like my favorite Danny Phantom villain. I can't really think of any other Danny Phantom villain that off the top of my head, that I think is like a more interesting villain than Freak Show. I guess Pariah Dark lore-wise is more interesting. It is more interesting lore-wise, but in terms of pure entertainment value, I feel like Freak Show is just the most entertaining villain Danny Phantom ever faced. Because he's not a ghost. He doesn't have crazy powers. He's a normal human who ends up outsmarting Danny at every turn. He uses his big brain to outsmart Danny at every turn. And that's incredible. That's so good. I love that. All of Danny's powers, and he gets outsmarted by a human. So it's so cool. I love Freak Show as a villain, and it's really cool that he only ever shows up in the finale of each season. Like, he is the final boss of each season. And you might think, oh, well, he doesn't show up in Phantom Planet. No, he does. He does. He's there. He's there in Phantom Planet. He only shows up in the final episode of each season. He is relegated to the season finale of every season. So that's just so cool. I love that. That's so cool. Man, I wish we could have gotten I wish we could have gotten one more episode with him as the main threat, especially after what happens to him in this. So what's this one about? Danny, Sam, and Tucker are preparing for a cross-country trip over the summer. And if you're keeping track of the timeline, Danny has gone through 2 summers over the course of the last 2 seasons. This is the 3rd summer he's gone through, meaning that what happened earlier in The Ultimate Enemy was a junior test, a junior year test that would like essentially affect your future. And that means that they are in between their junior and senior years. So they're getting ready for their senior years in high school. There is a progression of time in this series, and I love it. I love that there is a progression of time in this series. Throughout the 3 seasons, we are seeing their time in high school. And I love that. And so he is enjoying his final summer vacation because, after his senior year, that's it. He graduates. So this is, for all intents and purposes, his final summer vacation, and he intends to enjoy it to the fullest with his friends. They're going to go to a convention. They're going to go to a goth band show, and they're going to go to the Space Center. And and before all that, they decide that they're going to go hang out and watch Dumpty Humpty, watch the live concert show of Dumpty Humpty before leaving. And everything seems like it's going to be going well. And meanwhile, at the Guys in White's headquarters, they have Freak Show, and they have him teach them how the reality gauntlet works, which is basically kind of like the Infinity Gauntlet in Marvel. But instead of requiring 6 gems, it requires 4. There are 4 gems that you put into the 3 gems that you put into the gauntlet on the forearm, and then there's 1 more that goes on the back of the hand of the gauntlet, which is the power source. And you have to press each button in a sequence. Specifically, you have to press each button twice in a specific order. Which, honestly, I feel like there's one thing I don't understand about this. It is revealed that there's a book that talks about the reality gauntlet. There's a whole book that talks about it. And there's a whole book that talks about it. And Freak Show was the author of that book. So he's the expert on the reality gauntlet. He's an expert on the reality gauntlet. How does he not know the code? And besides, even if he doesn't know the code, it's 6 button prompts across 3 buttons. It's 6 button presses across 3 buttons. There's only so many combinations that it could possibly be. There's only so many combinations that it could possibly be. I believe with that, 6 button combinations across 3 buttons. I believe there's like less than 50 combinations. I think there's like less than 50 combinations. Somebody else can do the math and let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure you could just brute force that and just keep trying different combinations. Just write down all the different combinations. Try each one out one by one. Cross it out if it doesn't work. I feel like it would take like less than a day to figure out the combination if you just brute force it. But regardless, he ends up fighting Danny and ends up beating him, and then reveals to the entire world that Danny is Danny Phantom. So now the Guys in White are after Danny. Danny, Sam, and Tucker all the gems all have a safety protocol where they will teleport to a location that someone thinks of. And so Danny, Sam, and Tucker all each grab onto one of the 3 gems and have them teleport to the locations they wanted to go to during the summer. And so they get that cross-country trip after all. But time is of the essence. They have to get all 3 gems. They have to get all 3 gems if they want to see their families alive again, because Freak Show has kidnapped all of their families. And just to make it dramatic, Freak Show ends up giving them 3 days. He specifically says that that's the reason. Just to make it dramatic, you have 3 days. I love Freak Show. He's the best. So they go on that trip. They go on that trip. They go and get to the space center, and Danny ends up fighting off a spaceship, a space rocket that comes to life thanks to the power of the gem. And then they go to the goth band show, and the whole place is just overrun with Care Bears, essentially. Sam is ready to rip, and Sam starts ripping a whole bunch of them up. Sam starts ripping a whole bunch of them up, and this is the gem of form. It changes the form of anything around. The form, not like it doesn't create matter out of nothing. It just changes the form. Meaning, when they get the gems, everything that was fluffy, cuddly Care Bears changes back to what it was, including the bears that she ripped to pieces. So those were goth people that she just ripped to pieces. And when they changed back, they were in pieces all over the place. So, yeah. It's kind of more when you start to think about the consequences of what she did in that area. Yeah, Sam's a murderer apparently. So then they head to the convention that Tucker wanted to go to, and the gem ends up transforming cosplayers into the actual characters that they're cosplaying as. So yeah, that's really cool. That was awesome. And we even get some furry bait in there for the furries with one of the characters, because one of the characters was dressed up as this she wolf, and so she transforms into like an actual like furry. So yeah, we get some furry bait in there for the furries. But we end up getting they end up getting the third gem, and then they're teleported to where Freak Show is. And Freak Show kidnaps Sam and Tucker and puts them along with their families and Danny's family all in this deadly roller coaster that's going to kill them all. And Danny goes to try to save them. Danny goes to try to save them, but gets stopped at every turn because Freak Show now knows the combination. Freak Show has now cracked the combination and now controls all of reality. He succeeds in taking over the world. He actually succeeds in taking over the world and changing everything. He changes everything, and so then Danny decides to use psychology on Freak Show and starts bragging about how great it is to be a ghost, because Freak Show has ghost envy. He doesn't like to be upstaged by ghosts. And so he ends up tricking Freak Show into using the gauntlet to turn himself into a ghost. And then Danny ends up using the thermos to capture him and get the gauntlet from him. And then he uses the gauntlet to save his family and Tucker and Sam and their families. Put everything back to put the world. He puts the whole world back to normal, and he gets accepted by his parents. He gets fully accepted. He gets fully accepted by them, and he decides to wipe. He decides to wipe their memories along with the memories of everyone else in the world who knows who he is, because he feels like it's not yet time for his secret to be revealed to the world. He doesn't feel like it's time yet. That's a part of it, but it's the other part, and that's one part of it. The other part is that he knows that as long as the world knows who he is, his enemies are going to target the people he cares about. So he decides to just It'd be better to just wipe the memories of everyone, wipe everybody's memories. It's not yet time. Now's not a good time to let his secret be known. And things go back to normal. And yeah, it's so good. I love this. I love this special. This TV film special. I love it so much. It is, honest to God, my favorite of the specials. And a large part of that is Freak Show. He's just such a fun villain. He is such a fun villain. So that's it. That's it for this. That's it for this video. And obviously, I give this an A+. I give this an A+. So that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Throughout the rest of the month, I'm going to be doing anime, so we will continue this in June. We will continue the Danny Phantom Vlogs revisit in June, starting with Season 3, Episode 1. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all then. Take care, everyone.